Okay, so how's the weather today? Hot weather, huh? Yeah. Well, welcome to tropical Singapore. Many years back, when the Singapore Buddhist Federation has not had its own building, we would have classes, we conduct classes in different places. So one of the places was in Mito Primary School, the old Mito Primary School in Racecourse Road. Yes, just next to Longshan Shi. So it was so old that the classrooms, well, I think a lot of schools' classrooms still only have fan. So that was one of those schools where there was only the fan. Yeah. So usually when I arrive, we will have a short puja, and then they will sit on the, in the chairs, and then we'll meditate. And usually when I arrive, the fan will be at like number 6, like full blast, and it's basically this kind of fan. And when it's at full blast, you can hear the So I'll get them to start meditating, then I will walk over and tack. Yeah, and I turn it down to like 1 or 2. And because they have to meditate, right, so they can't do anything about it. So by the time we finish, they will be like, breaking into sweat, into perspire. Yeah, then I'll ask them the obvious question like, how do you all feel? Is it warm? Yeah, and I'll welcome them back to tropical Singapore. Yeah. Sometimes we get so used to it. Yeah. To amenities within our house, around us. Yeah. The other day when I went back, so I was doing some stuff, then suddenly I observed how the room was super quiet. Then I realized that I have not turned on the fan. Yeah, I don't turn on the aircon usually, and that day I didn't even turn on the fan. Yeah, and then I thought, maybe I should turn on the fan. Then I walked to the fan, and then I thought, but do I need the fan? Yeah, do I need the fan? There are many things we do in life where we just do it because it's part and parcel of our life already. Like, how many of you wake up and then you wash your face and brush your teeth? Raise your hand. Out of social contract, all of you would feel obliged to raise your hand. Yeah. But the truth is, think about it. If you had brushed your teeth and wash your face, and maybe some of you even bathe just before you sleep, when you wake up the next morning, and granted, a good number of Singaporeans actually sleep in aircon rooms. So what happened that night? That it requires you to rebrush your teeth again. Did you sleepwalk to the kitchen and then have a feast? Yeah. At night, do you sleepwalk and wake up? Wow, why am I so? If you sleep in a non-aircon room, then it's possible that when you wake up in the morning, you may have quite the neck, the back. Yeah, so half the pillow may be slightly moist and damp. Yeah, and depending on what time you wake up, if you wake around the middle of that cycle, then it's all wet. If you wake up past that cycle, it has dried up a bit. So the question is, most of us, now I'm not going to go down one by one and do you really brush today? Yeah, but we would brush because we need to brush. How many of you brush immediately after your meal? You gargle? Okay, that's not bad. How many of you floss immediately after your meal? Yeah. I've been told that just lightly brush your teeth after your meal. Yeah, because otherwise, most of us don't have a cai sim hanging out. Hi. But there will be some small little pieces here and there. Yeah, most of yeah, but so but if after the meal, yeah, we brush more like a cycle. Time to brush, we just brush. How many of you brush your teeth before you sleep as well? Again, really? Really? Just now we just recited, Musawada Veramani. Come on, it's okay. Even if you don't brush. Some of you may think otherwise. But, I have this relative. He was a air steward. I don't know whether he's still serving as one, but he gave us this very interesting lesson when we were in primary school. He's a very excitable person, and so the brushing of teeth. He said, and he would just eat. Yeah, and we were like, yeah, and that he would brush after his meal and not before his meal. Most of us brush before our meal and then we eat. And after that, right? And I know the teeth after, even told me that, no, you don't want to gargle away because you still have that taste and you want to keep it. Okay, sure. So, or float your boat rather. So, the thing is, brushing our teeth is just one of them. Eating is another thing. Yeah, a lot of us, or I think most people, it's time to have your meal. Kids don't. Yeah, kids when they're hungry, they will ask for a meal. There's no stopping them. They will cry, they will scream, they will shout for their meal. And these days, when they are not ready for their meal, you can beg, you can cajole, you can go and pray to Kuan Yin Pusa, and they will still not have their meal. Yeah, but adults are different. Yeah, when it's time, okay, you just go and have your meal. Think about the last time when you have your meal because you are genuinely hungry. I don't. Sometimes I ask myself, do I really need this meal? Yeah. I was like, I stopped for a while and I observe. I look at the bowl of combination of mee pok, some leftover food and some, I don't know, whatever that I put inside. And I was like, not that it's not nice, it was pretty good, and I could easily just finish it and more. But then I look at it and I'm like, I think I have enough. So I kept it. And it lasted through the whole afternoon actually. Yeah, and even by the time we finished with the Heart Sutra class yesterday, it was still quite okay. Yeah. The point is whether it's brushing our teeth, having our meal, or turning on the aircon. Yeah, turning on the TV, turning on the aircon, checking our phone. Sometimes it becomes so habitual. When it becomes habitual, then it's no longer whether you need it anymore. And it extends to even our behavior. Yeah? Where we comment on things or we say things, it becomes habitual. And sometimes the habitual behavior, sometimes this habituation is pleasant, yeah? Sometimes not so pleasant, including being, passing snide remarks, yeah, or snarky remarks. Yeah. Sometimes it's nicer, sometimes it's the habit of saying nice things. But sometimes if it becomes, even when you don't really mean it, you also say then, yeah. So that, do I need to turn on the fan? Even the fan. Yeah. Because when it becomes a habit, then we think that we need it. But actually, maybe we don't need it, including the aircon. Yeah. I mean, the truth is, a lot of people say, oh, can't live without aircon. But we can live without aircon. Can't live without internet. Can't live without mobile phone. We can live without mobile phone. Can't live without my husband. Can live without, What? Is that, yeah, you can. But sometimes we tell ourselves we can't. And then we really believe it. And just this idea that you have decided you can't. Yeah. So let's take a look more about that when we go into the text on right view. Okay. Side, who is new here today? Anyone who is new? First row, second row, third row? Yeah. Name.
Hi everyone, my name is David Hassan. Yeah.
Hassan.
So I was overseas for 9 months and I just came back home 2 weeks ago.
Well, we thank you for our services.
So I served my NS overseas.
Yes.
So I just came back.
Yes. So David was just sharing that he was a perm staff for 9 months in Thailand. So, or maybe not you, but your friends or your relatives, may have encountered him. He said that he was doing computer.
I'm a club admin assistant.
Admin assistant. So over staff and act busy. Yeah, 9 months. Yeah, so I was sharing with him that I was over in Taiwan for 7 months. Yeah, and then he was saying that moving forward, all the overseas deployment will be purely based on regulars. Yeah. So welcome back. And how many more months to go? Have you finished your NS?
4 more months to ORD. So
I see. Well done. Welcome back. Yeah. When I came back, I had something shy of 1 month. Yeah. So when I came back, then cleared leave, and then do. And then before you know it, it was over. Yeah. NS, long time ago. Yeah. Some people say that NS is a waste of time. Yeah. For me, it was not a waste of time. I learned a lot of things. I was posted to a lot of different places. I picked up DBase 3 and Fox Pro database programming. Yeah. Not because NS sent me for course. But I just find my little hands going around looking for computers to touch. Yeah. But that was a long time ago. Okay. Roles. Any more of the FOD who had not introduced yourself? Jinyu, any more? All introduced and accounted for? Yeah, we should have a roll call next time. All right. Now, yes. On the right, lady here, pass her the mic.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
My name is Sophie. My name is Sophie. I'm from China, and I've been in Singapore for 9 months. And I work here now. I'm here today because I'm quite interested in meditation and Buddhism lifestyle, basically. And I've been thinking what I should do, what I shouldn't do, pretty much every day. Like what you said, I should be aware of what I should do, what I need to do, instead of what I'm what I used to do.
Ah,
Yeah. Okay, that's me.
very good. Welcome. And how did you come to get to know about this group?
Eventbrite.
Eventbrite. Ah, okay. Excellent, excellent. Welcome, welcome. And what's your name again?
Sophie.
Sophie. Ah. And which part of China are you from?
Chongqing.
Chongqing. Ah.
Do you know that?
Well, I've...
Yeah, right.
What?
Sichuan.
Sichuan. Ah, okay, okay. Some of the student monks that we were in charge of were from Chongqing. Yeah. But China is a huge place. So sometimes whenever I ask students like, so where are you from? And then they tell me some name, I'm like, yeah, it's in China.
Not ask.
Yeah. You know, okay. Yeah. So what are you doing in Singapore?
I work here.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a recruiter.
Recruiter.
I recruit lawyers, yes.
Recruit lawyers.
I just specialize in legal recruitment.
Ah, okay. Any lawyers looking for all right. Have you introduced? No. Yes.
Hi, my name is Wei Xun. I'm Singaporean. I'm born here and work here.
Okay. Most are.
Yeah, I came here because I was interested to learn some meditation and awareness as well.
Ah. Do you come with her?
No, actually, I didn't come with her. But
Okay.
yeah.
And how do you get to know about this group?
Also Eventbrite.
Also Eventbrite.
So,
Ah, okay.
so thank you.
Okay, so Eventbrite does work here and there. Very good. Okay, let me see. First row, second row, third, fourth. The rest are mostly, I think, season parking holders. All right, very good. Where we have short puja, short meditation, and not so short dharma sharing. Now, two of you. No? How about you? You have? What kind of temple? Waterloo Street. Oh, okay. Then that you go there, you burn the incense, then you take one of the tube. You know. Next time, anything you just. Then, no. How about you? Never gone to any temple before?
When I was a kid with my grandparents, does that count?
Okay.
Than anything.
Okay. So the thing is that so SGC is structured this way because the traditional Chinese temple tends to have very long puja, at least 1.5 hours, and then usually, for most Singaporeans, we are mostly English speaking, so the entry is a bit steep. So we kind of structure it's a bit easier for the younger generation. So is every week we have a slightly different topic, and then thing called the Bodhisattva vow, and then sometimes we have a string of topics where we would share a string of topics which we will share when the video is working. And is it coming? Yeah. And then find the printout that I prepared that is maybe Okay, while our tech crew, while our 小菩萨 persuade the visualizer to produce something, we'll try and see, and somehow even the internet is not working. Yeah, out. So today we hook up all the in and out to Bali. Moment of truth. Wait, this should be RGB. And then you should switch to VGA. Switch the source to computer. Yes, should be done. Ta-da! Yes. Have you ever heard of something called Murphy's Law? So anything that can happen. A corollary is anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And so just now it went wrong and now it went right. Yeah, so last week we went through the opening. And so we are here. Yeah, let me just flip it around so you can see more things. Display, timeout, 10 minutes, and then rotation. Yes. Okay. And then we have this feature. All right. Does it work? Okay. So let me see. Up to here. Yeah. I think we went through part of this. Yes. So, no, I angle it. Well, I can always shift it here and come at the same thing. Yeah. So, 2 weeks ago, we went through the teachings on right view. Yeah, and as we have shared last week, of the Noble Eightfold Path. Yeah. The direction. Yeah. Is it something that the Buddha sit down with his monks and then form a committee and then they decide, hey, the lay people, we must show them what we are good for, and then they come out with this curriculum and syllabus. And it didn't really come about that way. Yeah. The Buddha didn't come out with a diploma or bachelor's, things like that. But instead, right view consists of what he observed when he attained enlightenment. Yeah, what he observed to be the case of a person, the truth of a human existence. Yeah, and so it starts off skillful. Yeah, over here. We have gone through the front part, yeah, which is basically the opening declaration, yeah, and kind of like an outline, yeah, outline of what is skillful, what is the question, yeah, what is skillful, what is the root of that, what is unskillful, what is the root of what is unskillful, okay, but that. Exactly that is. Yeah. Last week we went through, I believe we went through at least the first part, yeah, of what is skillful. Can you remember? Basically the 10 wholesome deeds, yeah, 10 wholesome deeds. Can you remember what the 10 wholesome deeds are? Yeah. So we've gone through 3 bodily, 4 verbal, and then 3 mental. What are the 3 bodily? It's basically what we have been reciting week after week, starting from abstaining from killing, then stealing, and sexual misconduct. Yeah? So these are actions that are done by our body, that can be done by our body. Okay? This is also what we call the first 3 of the 5 precepts. Then the number 4 of the 5 precepts is to abstain from lying. You add on 3 more, then it forms the group, what we call wholesome speech, or right speech. So we have abstaining from lying, harsh speech, divisive speech, and idle chatter, or frivolous talk. So 4 kinds of speech. 4 kinds of speech. Now, so go into the last part. The last part is about the mind. And actually last week we went through greed, hatred, and delusion. And the text itself would describe it as coveting after what people have. Greed, desire, desiring after what is not yours. And so from the mind, the action itself. So initially you see what is out there, and then you find that it's delightful. If a person finds that it's delightful, then may start to think about it. Thinking about it may then cause more discursive thoughts on it. Discursive thoughts in what way? To think further about all the features of how it is wonderful, it is beautiful, it is desirable. And when it goes on and on, then we may even discuss with our friends. Nowadays, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these are so helpful. To discuss what we like. Then when we discuss up to a point, is it enough? Not enough. We take a picture and then post it onto online. Before, in the past, some people will, when they order food, when the food comes, they'll just start eating. When I was a kid, we were told that we should ask our elders to eat. Then there are those who are a bit more religious, then they may do some prayers. Nowadays, it's different. We will all offer it to Facebook first. We'll take Instagram. Then we will eat. So your friends can really comment on the food now. And then you will discuss, comment, and then we go and eat again. All this slowly culminating in desire and greed. But in some cases it is if you go to a hawker center, you like the food, sure, no problem. You can always try. But what if that object of your desire is a limited source? It's of limited source. That is one of a kind. Or what if you are not able to afford it? Not in normal means anyway. That's where stealing comes from. That's basically how stealing comes about. You want something, you cannot afford it, so you try other ways to get it. So, and steal material things, or it can be something else. It can be a person as well. This is somebody, and then we want it, then we so all kinds. But we don't just share what we like. We also share what we don't like. So we post online when we complain about this, complain about that. the MRT breakdown, we complain. And then we will share online, and we will all start to, yeah. The verdict is still out there, whether that is good or bad. Yeah. To me, a lot of people, as a result, say that, oh, Facebook is bad. Yeah, you should just get out of Facebook. Internet is bad. Everything technology is bad. Yeah. This is to me what I call the romantic notion of simpler times. Yeah. Sometimes I see people go overseas, and usually it is when they go to the third world country, when they go to some places, they go to a village where they so-called live a simpler life, and then, the comment, they have so much lesser than us, but they are happier. Yeah, and some of you may even feel that way, isn't it? Yeah. So, my question to people oftentimes is, no matter how backward, how little they have today, at least they may have intermittent access to internet or electricity. They probably would have intermittent access to water as well. Yeah? No matter how backward, I don't think it's more backward than Buddha's time, right? Right? Yeah, the Buddha, no easily available water as well. Yeah, times were really tough. Yeah, so by the logic, that logically more backward, then you should be happier. Then in the Buddha's time, everybody should be well. But that's not the case, isn't it? Yeah, because if that's the case, then the Buddha would. Yeah, there were still people who were sick. There were still people who were aging. And when they were aging, they don't have hair dye, By the Buddha of the old person he saw. Some say that that's like a bit extreme, but was that the person was bent over, hair was dried, like white, and the person was feeble. Well, today is a bit different perhaps, yeah. A person can be 70, 80 years old and still quite okay. Less the mind, yeah, because nowadays we have people with dementia. Yeah. But I wonder whether, side note, dementia, last time people, when they grow, nowadays we have a medical term for it, dementia. So my point is it then true, can we still say and agree with the statement that having lesser technology will definitely bring us more happiness? I don't think so. You must remember, technology includes the toilet bowl, Toilet bowl is a technology, There's a lot of technology involved, a lot of physics involved, Yeah, the whole system, yeah, it requires a few departments of physics to actually get it working. Yeah, you have buoyancy for the water pump system, and then you have, what do you call that? What is that effect when you have a tube filled with water and then you no, I also can't. So the next time if someone tells it's not good, and if he because spectacles is also part of technology, yeah, more of technology. Practically, even in the Buddha's time, they were making use of new technology when it was available. Yeah, were afraid of technology. And why? Because it's a convenient punching bag. Convenient to just blame all our woes on technology, and say that, oh, because of technology, that's why we are suffering. Because when we say that, then it's nothing to do with us. Then we are okay. Yeah, then Till we recognize that it's how we use technology, we'll never be quite happy. Yeah. In the Buddha's time, the wrong aspect. There are people who kill, steal, sexual misconduct, and so on. There are people who were mentally disturbed. Yeah. Not just people with more things or more technology. Yeah. So think about it. Yeah. The next time yourself goes to some country with a countryside, and before you jump in and say, "Wow, look at them, so happy." I sometimes have even an even more cynical thought that when you go overseas, you can't help but look foreign. For most people, unless you go to, like when I go to China, sometimes they can't tell that I'm a foreigner. Yeah, there are a few of the 的士师傅. So yeah, and when they ask me where I'm from, I say from the south. Yeah, or I ask them to guess, and they're like, "Yeah, 听你的口音好像是南方人吧?" Yeah, yeah, and from Hokkien, yeah, 福建省. So let me assure you, you cannot tell how people really are, and especially if you're there for a holiday. Yeah. In some places where it's a bit more touristy, or the local tourism, do you show you a bad face? Yeah. So that's just my cynical side thinking. If you really want to know how people live, you need to be there to live with them. Work there. Fight for a job with them, then you know whether they are happy. And unfortunately, in most places, when there's enough, then people can be happy. When there's not enough, and people are not content, then they cannot be happy. And this is true regardless of the country, the race, the nationality, or even the religion. I don't say that, oh, now happy. No, Buddhist countries, Buddhist predominant countries can be unhappy as well. Yeah. So, what is skillful and what is unskillful? Yeah. So, over here, there's the listing of what is skillful. We went through that last week. And so here it talks about this. And what are the roots of what is skillful? Yeah. What is the root? So here, do a bit of correction. So usually we think of the three mental processes as just greed, hatred, and delusion. Oh, the timer. Yeah. But of what is skillful. Lack of greed is a root of what is skillful. Lack of aversion, lack of delusion is a root of what is skillful. Yeah, these are the meaning that the last three factors, yeah, the mental factors, is not simply greed, non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. That is the root. Yeah. You don't give rise to covetousness. Whereas if you have greed, then it gives rise to covetousness. Yeah. Okay? And similarly, then give rise to the lack of ill will. And from there, just as well, the other parts, yeah, such as the abstaining from taking life, abstaining from taking what is not given, abstaining from sexual misconduct, and so on. Yeah. So you have the 10 wholesome deeds, and the root of that is the non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion. Yeah. So here, root. The term root is sometimes translated as faculty as well. Yeah, but the term, because it is like visceral representation. Yeah, that just as a root can support the growth of a plant. Yeah, likewise, these three, lack of illusion, that can give rise to skillfulness. Yeah, the 10 skillful states. Oh. And below will be the one. Let's take a look. Discerns what is unskillful, or this is not the this is not so much those who are unskillful, but discerns the root of what is unskillful in this way, discerns what the root of what is skillful in this way. When abandoned passion, obsession, having abolished the view and conceit, obsession, I am, and given rise to clear knowing, here and stress right in the here and now. It is to this extent that a disciple of the Noble Ones is a person of right view, one who is endowed with verified confidence in the Dharma and who has arrived at this true Dharma. Yeah, so this concluding paragraph is describing how in the skillful and unskillful, yeah, and then abandoning the unskillful route, establishing and cultivating the skillful route. And in this way, the person reached a point where the person is able to entirely abandon passion, obsession. Having uprooted the view and conceit, obsession, I am, having abandoned ignorance and given rise to clear knowing. In other words, remove greed, hatred, and delusion. Yeah, and here become happier. This is actually attaining enlightenment. Yeah. So we read up to this point. Any of you have uprooted, have entirely abandoned passion, obsession? Raise your hand. No? Okay. Anyone abolish aversion, obsession? No? Are you all still having aversion? Oh, all smiling. Have you uprooted the view and conceit, obsession, I am? Do you all know what I'm talking about? So, don't know. Yeah. So, maybe I can just write down some of these things so that it becomes clearer. Yeah. So, what is today's date? 15. So, have, I'm going to use the terms that were introduced here. Passion, aversion, and then we have ignorance, and you have the view and conceit. Yeah. This is perhaps what we can say the usual is what we call greed, hatred, and delusion. Yeah. So, in Buddhism, right view comprises knowing what is unskillful, and then what is the root, what is skillful, and what is the root. Okay? And then and unskillful, these are basically this is the 10 wholesome deeds, and this is the 10 unwholesome. So, right view, this is the first definition. To know. If you know clearly that this is unskillful, this is skillful, this is the root of the unskillful, this is the root of the skillful, then you are said to have right view. Why is it called right view? For the Buddha, he sees clearly that this is unskillful. He sees clearly that this is skillful. For us, we only learn that it is skillful. We only learn that this is unskillful. Some of it we may quite readily accept, but some of it we may, half-hearted. What we're borrowing the Buddha's wisdom of what he had observed as a way to look at this world. And so we call it right view. It is called because, maybe I shouldn't ask in this way, or say it this way. Why is it called right view? I should ask you all the question. Let you all think a bit. Interesting time. Come. A, is it because Buddha said so? B, is it because Shifu said so? C, think of C, you're supposed to give answers. Or others. A, others. C. So for her, safer. Say that the Buddha said so. But it's said by the Buddha what? Huh? You thought? No. Is why is it called right view? Why is right view called right? What makes it right? Because it makes us happy. Okay? Yeah?
Because it's the direction to enlightenment.
It's the direction to enlightenment. And what is enlightenment? Next person. How come? So, we call it right view because it leads towards this state of ending suffering, the cessation of suffering. And in a way, we can say that it is said to be right because it is in line with reality. But for a start, it is just, we are just trying it out. Do you know for sure that this actually leads to end of suffering? How many of you know for sure? Don't know, right? Yeah, that's why it's only called a view, it's not a fact yet. For us anyway. For us, it's just a view. And it's supposed to point there, so we call it right. So the question is, or rather, the point is, while right view is the start, it is just a direction. It doesn't mean that you are there already, but you must at least know this direction, which is what the Buddha observed for himself, and then established as the way that can point us towards end of suffering. But let's take a step back again. Skillfulness, knowing the difference, knowing this difference can lead us towards end of suffering. Abandon the unwholesome and cultivate the wholesome. We're supposed to do that. So, if you were to start killing, stealing, or engage in sexual misconduct, is it more conducive for happiness or less conducive? Hey. We're not going back until your answer. I'm quite free today. My whole well, today stand up and pass you all the mic. I don't think too complex. Stop answering. You're answering too much question. I need them to open their mouth. Can you hear me? Can you understand my English? Then why are you not answering? All stoning. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Whoever answer can sit down. Okay, when you raise your hand, okay? 开玩笑. Then go back. Killing. Who wants to answer a question on killing? Okay, yes. Now one. Yes, what? I haven't asked the question. Killing. No. Oh boy. Okay lah, since she answered that question. Okay, so is killing conducive for happiness? Sure? Why? Does it lead to suffering for others? Do you need to be a Buddhist to say yes? You don't need, right? Do you need to believe? So what was the for saying yes? But what if the person say someone was chloroform or drug out. Okay, let's not go into so much complexity. Very good. Give him a round of applause. Second person to get to sit. You can sit down already. Second. How about stealing? Who would like to answer stealing? So, I haven't asked the question. Let me. Does stealing conduces to happiness?
No.
Really? Then why do people steal?
No, I mean the one who steal, but the one who lost the thing.
What happened?
He will suffer the loss of the things
Uh-huh.
that belongs to him.
Uh-huh. So, if you steal his things, who becomes happy?
I will be happy.
You'll be happier.
Because I steal.
So why should you care that he's unhappy? I mean, besides personally,
But
right?
I thought I don't commit stealing.
Yeah. Stealing?
No.
Yeah. So, handphone?
Oh,
Yes. We need a prompt. Somehow, you take his handphone. And then, are you happier now?
My real person, I'm not happy. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the one who wants to steal, he will feel very happy that, oh, I stole it already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then, but for him,
he will be very sad.
yeah. So it brings. Now, consider here who would be happy to lose your phone. Now, my phone, I can get a new one. I can just. But beyond that, thank you. When involuntarily, without choice, and that's the key thing. When we are losing our handphone also. It's basically losing your handphone, but that is your choice. Whenever you choose to lose something, then no problem. Like, for example, losing weight. Yeah. So,
Losing weight is also stealing.
no, different. Yeah. So, when we steal, does it bring happiness?
No.
Does it bring more suffering?
To who?
In general.
Yeah.
Collectively, yes? Okay, give her a round of applause. Okay. Sexual misconduct, who would like to try? Just. Yeah. Does it lead to happiness?
No.
Yeah. But it's a bit tricky, about it, and we are taught, it leads to unhappiness. But, sexual misconduct or stealing, to do it. So, so there's something here that we should think about. Yeah. The person who would do it may be happy, but it brings unhappiness to others. And then, if one person steals, be unhappy, what will you do?
just let it go along, buy a new one.
You just let it go.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
Evil country called Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, you can make a police report. You can. Yeah.
Yeah, but just don't trouble anybody, just can't anyone will do.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I ever lose my handphone, so that's it. Buy a new one.
You lose your handphone and you just buy a new one.
Yeah.
Contribution to the economy. Now, how many of you, if misplace it and then you cannot find it, okay? How about another case? And you your handphone on the, the desk. Eating area is like quite open, and someone off. Would you? Now it's taken. How many? To, get it back. Try to get it back. Yes. Yeah. So now, who took it, and someone is trying to get back. And where's the other? Yeah.
How would I feel?
Yeah.
I think I will be very panicked.
You will feel panic.
Somebody is chasing me.
So it is in this way that even in this life, is to have more happiness by stealing. The problem or snatching or robbing itself brings anxiety, stress. But stolen from. Snatch, trying to steal. Yeah. That person get apprehended. Yeah. What happened? Now, person who get apprehended. Yeah. You take the handphone and you just, yeah, and then you run strong, and then next to what's his name again? Super Guardian there. Stealing stops here. True, you can't then get caught by them. How would you feel? How would you feel? You make pharmacy. Then panic. Okay, you can sit down now. Yeah. Who? Yes.
I want to highlight, before you steal, your thoughts in you are suffering.
Before. Yes.
Because when he start to grow that thinking,
Yes.
I think he's also dilemma, scared, panic.
Yeah. All this. Yeah. So before doing it, after that, yeah, the whole sequence. Yeah. So good. Sit down. Sorry. No. Yeah, you can sit down now. Yeah. So it's not simply it's just people becoming unhappy. It also goes through a different set of stress. Yeah. How about sexual misconduct? She already half answered. Yes.
I would say,
Just say. Just say.
The person who does it, at the point he or she may enjoy it,
Yeah.
but it will bring suffering to the victim.
The spouse.
Whatever.
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
think it's that
So,
way.
okay. So, a few things to point out about sexual misconduct. Well, sexual misconduct is usually like 2% or more involved. Yeah. Now, that means there's a victim. That means the person either molest or rape or basically sexual assault. Yeah. So the person who is perpetrating, then the victim. Yeah. And it also includes the case where the 2% even goes to. Yeah. In such cases, then this case, one person is clearly suffering. The other, I don't know how they feel. Yeah. So, how about? It can.
Both will be guilty.
Yeah. So, in the case where the two of them are actually both, yeah, but maybe there are other. So it brings about stress to others. Yeah. But play along with me, okay? Let's play along with this. Yeah. Would more anxiety or less anxiety? Yeah. While meeting up, for example. Yeah. The possibility of having someone who is a friend, yeah, bumping into somebody. Yeah. So even disclose there's anxiety as well. Yeah. And then who is actually even more affected. Yeah. So far we are still just talking about the present life. The Buddha consequences in future life also. I want you to look at the Kalama Sutta. Go beyond the 10 different sources of knowledge, yeah, where you use it to, where most people use to agree or disagree with something. Go highlighted 10 which most people use to agree. After that, there's a section in the Kalama Sutta, yeah, where the Buddha scenarios, yeah, as far as our karma is concerned. Go and read that up. Yes.
Just want to clarify one thing. Is pre-marriage sexual relationship considered misconduct?
Wow, this is a bit tricky. So, strictly speaking, in Buddhism, if if you go by the Vinaya, two consenting person, there's no sexual misconduct. But this is frowned upon. Yeah. So this is what I sometimes advise people to think. Before we ask ourselves, is the precepts? Or is this class under wholesome or unwholesome? The first question that I sometimes ask people to think about is, would you be okay to eat family? What if it's disclosed to your family? Would you feel okay? Your family, your friends? Would you upon you and say, "Oh, wow, good job"? You know? Again, yeah. To SGC, yeah, you tell our family and friends, "Wow, good job." But what if, you tell your family and friends, you go, why? So religious? So sometimes you got this consideration. Yeah, our family gauge of what is right and wrong. Yeah, but they don't feel comfortable. Then you should pause and consider why they don't feel comfortable. Do they have valid reasons? Yeah, do they have good enough reasons? Yeah, ask yourself, well, in that case, then why should you be doing it? Without, yeah. Now then you ask yourself, what if your family and friends say, "Oh, well, good job." Also, like us, like ourselves, any ideas. Then you got to ask yourself, what if general public know about it? Will, not so good. Will we be frowned upon? Yeah. Will we be censored? Yeah. If you are stormed on, yeah. Nowadays it's quite horrific.
So in other words, is that you need to refer back to the culture and tradition.
Even the law of the land, is it okay? And if all these are okay, then you ask yourself, is it against the precept? But you see, the precepts, there's only 4 main rules. The first, there are many things that's not covered inside the precepts. If perhaps you should then ask yourself one last time, what is your intent? What is your intent? Yeah, so there's nothing inside the precepts that says, I cannot do this. Right? Or that, should you spit at me? Yeah. And then yeah. Stealing, sexual misconduct, or lying. Right?
But Shifu, I thought Sutta inside there's a formal definition of sexual misconduct also. Because I read somewhere it's like married, you're under the guardian of your husband.
Yes,
if you're
yes.
not married, then you're under like your father or your guardian.
Yeah. You are correct. So would be if you're under the guardianship of your father, uncle, brother, yeah, this will be the so-called underage. Yeah, that's why adults. Yeah. Now that applies in India. In China, it's a bit different. China and in Singapore is different. In Taiwan, is different also. Then China also. Yeah. So there are all this to consider. Yeah. But about, is it okay for me to spit at him before we let him get away? Oh, 这个 yeah. So precepts never explicitly say that it's not okay, doesn't make it okay as well. You understand? Yeah. This image of Shifu spitting at you. Is it really okay? Because your intent. What are you trying to achieve by saying that, by doing that? Yeah, by thinking in a certain way. Intent, we actually have the answer. Okay? All right. Any other thoughts or questions?
So that means if the intent is good, then it's okay.
The best intent. Yeah. And this is the interesting part. Because who genuinely feel that their intention is good. Yeah. But it's like when we went through right speech, about have the best intent for that person, but the person don't like it. Then you've got to ask yourself, then why are you forcing your opinion onto that person? Yeah. So we have the best intent. Let's go around and force people to be. No, that's not the way. Yeah. If the teachings, yeah, share. Yeah, but we don't say. Yeah. Oh. All right. From the skillful and unskillful, Venerable Sariputra goes on to talk about nutriment. Yeah? Something. Okay? So, in and approve of Venerable Sariputra's words, the monks asked him a further question. Would a noble disciple a disciple of the noble ones is a person of right view who has arrived at this true Dharma. Yeah. So the once more. Besides this definition, is that a person can be seen as having right view. Yeah. So it's not that they are different. You can be considered to have right view if you are able to discern this, or you can discern that. Yeah. Being able to see this and that, you are all considered to be having right view. So, yeah. So here I'm going to give you the a summary of it. So discerns nutriment, the origination, then the cessation, and the way. Now, this is a standard formula of what we call the Four Noble Truths. Yeah. So we have what is A, then B leading to A, cessation, which is removal or reduction of B leading to removal or reduction of A, and the way. Yeah. This formula, we usually think of the Four Noble Truths as what is suffering, yeah, cause of suffering, end of suffering, and the way leading to end of suffering. Yeah, but we find that this formula is actually applied on various other things. Yeah. And at the root of this is actually the teaching of causality. Yeah. A, and as a result, the ending of A must be preceded. Yeah. So suffering comes about when there is the cause of suffering, the defilements. To the end of defilements leading to the end of suffering. And then, yeah. So in this case, nutriment. Yeah. So nutriment being various kind of food. And here food. Yeah. Then the maintenance of beings. Yeah. We food as food. Yeah, we have Chinese food, Indian food, Malay food. No, all this is considered in established that there are four types of nutriment, four kinds of food. The first is the gross food, as in the physical food that we eat. So this is in Chinese called 断食. Yeah, 断食. Yeah, food which you take, the gross food that you take periodically. Yeah, 断食. Should be 触食. Yeah, contact. Yeah, contact here through our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. Teaching is food. Food for what? Food to our mental well-being. Yeah. So think about it. Seems quite queer. Huh? Food is food, ma. Yeah. But some of you may have heard of this term, sensory deprivation. Have you heard of this term? Sensory deprivation. So, starvation and torture. Yeah. In the military, in various, so when they catch somebody, instead of physically torturing you, yeah, they keep you in, let's say, a dark, it's completely dark, pitch dark, and keep you there for 24 hours, 48 hours. Yeah? They'll give you food, but they keep you inside without any light at all. And in some cases, it's not just one sense, but all the senses. Yeah? Eyes, ears, yeah? Just keep you in complete silence. Yeah? Yeah? They shine spotlights at you, yeah? 24/7, play loud music, or not, sometimes not loud music. Someone just, what they use is a certain, so it's not so loud, but it's always some sound. You cannot, yeah. So we have a bit of contact, yeah. Without, most people cannot take it. And then meditation, just close. Yeah, for a short period, okay, 15-20 minutes. But for longer duration, then we start to feel a kind of discomfort. Yeah, we just yeah. But once you are a bit more trained, yeah, if ever, and then you get caught and they put you into sensory deprivation, very good. Just go there and meditate. No problem. Yeah, so last two types, then we wrap up for today. Next week when we come back with it. Okay? The third is here, actual intent. Yeah. So Chinese is 意识. Yeah. 意识. Yeah. So this pen is too sharp. Then 触识. Then 事实. Yeah, so the third one is the mind thinking. Yeah, 意识. The mind thinking provides sustenance for our existence also. Yeah, and that's why meditation itself is also not the most pleasant thing for people. Don't let you think, wow, see how yeah. The last one is consciousness. Yeah, consciousness. So consciousness is the tricky one, because consciousness in many schools, then they say it is referring to the first 6 senses. Yeah, but in the Yogacara school, then we say consciousness here refers to the 8th consciousness. Yeah, that the 8th consciousness with the seeds, karmic seeds, serve as the food that drives our existence. Yeah, but that's purely the Yogacara school. Yeah, all the other schools for consciousness is just purely the consciousness part. Yeah, but in a way, these two has a bit of overlap. Yeah, if we consider this as the first 6 consciousness, then this and this has a bit of overlap. Yeah, if you consider this to be number 6 consciousness, then this and this has overlap. Yeah. So while I'm trained in the Yogacara school, I don't want to simply say because I'm from this tradition, so this tradition should be correct. Yeah. So I've learned a lot from my teacher on the Yogacara viewpoint. I don't readily submit to it and say, this is correct. I would question a lot of this. But some of these viewpoints, if you were to put aside Yogacara viewpoint, then you may start to see that there's a bit of contradiction, or ambiguity there. Because from consciousness to contact is extremely close. It's extremely close. Although it's still different, but it's extremely close. And then the mind itself and consciousness here, they are also very closely linked. So, are they meant to be three separate things? If there are three separate things, then but they are rather close for comfort. So these four. Number one, directly feed our physical body. The next three can be said to feed our mind. Can be said to feed our mind. But we can say that this plants the seed. We can say that this plants the seed. Our mind acts out, where conscious decision is made. Okay, then from there we can say that this plants a seed for future existence. So this is directly our present physical life, and then the rest feeds our mind plus our future life. So the next part, so there's four, right? So the next one is, what is the way leading to the cessation of nutriment? Of course, it's always the Noble Eightfold Path. So this is the other thing I want to highlight. How many of you are exposed to programming concepts? How many of you know programming concepts? You know self-referencing, or recursion, like you know the GNU, right? GNU, GNU is actually an acronym. It's a very interesting acronym. GNU is an acronym for GNU is not Unix. So it's a self-referencing acronym. In the open source world, they have a lot of this funny thing. So the funny thing is that the Four Noble Truths is self-referencing. It is one of the, so far from what I see, one of the earliest sources of concepts where a concept is self-referencing. Do you see? Because this is under right view, right? And then this right view actually talks about the Four Noble Truths. And the Four Noble Truths includes the way, which is Noble Eightfold Path, which includes right view. So it's a recursive definition. Okay, I don't know how excited any of you are, but for me it's very interesting because, Anyway, so this is one more way where if a person knows nutriment, the person is considered to have right view. Okay, there's more. Okay, next week we're going to go through stress. We're going to go through aging and death. We're going to go through birth. We're going to go through a lot more. All this under right view. In fact, the sequence that follows is basically what we call the 12 links of dependent origination, paticca samuppada. Okay. No wonder not many people are getting enlightened. This is too tough, man. This is a really tough religion,
Actually, I start to get a little bit confused about the 2 is and the Passutra, the
Oh. No, they are related. Not just related. These are the same terms.
The same thing, right?
The same thing. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
you think Buddhism is a religion, right? Or all people think Buddhism?
Wait, pass her the mic, please.
No, can't hear them.
Okay. Is it working? Okay.
So you just mentioned that religion is a very tough religion. So
Yes.
I will still think Buddhism is a religion. A lot of people here might also think Buddhism is a religion. So what is considered to be a religion? That's one of my questions.
Okay.
And my understanding is, like the reason why I'm here, I really like Buddhism teachings, some wisdom there,
Yes.
and a lot of interesting stuff.
Yes.
And for me, I think it's a lifestyle.
Okay.
The reason why you shake your head is not because you're a Buddhist. That's my opinion. It's not because you're a Buddhist, and I think it's because it's clean.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what I heard from Dalai Lama. It is because it's clean, not because you are Buddhist. So anyway, just go back to the first question.
Okay.
Do you think Buddhism is a religion, and why is it considered to be a religion?
Okay. So if I can just route and to just comment on the shaving of the head. For some, we follow the monastic code, where we usually would shave once our hair goes beyond like 2 finger width. Yeah, before it goes beyond 2 finger width, we'll shave. We can shave anytime before that as well. But you can imagine if we shave every day, then it's very busy, you know. For me, it happened to coincide with what you said. I will often shave when it becomes too grimy. So the shaving process is part of the removing of the hairs, you know, excess hair, grime and scalp and all those things as well. Now, in the Buddha's time, there were a few layers of reasons. One of it being that the whole Indian society, well, actually there was no Indian society to begin with in the Buddha's time, because there was no one India. Yeah, it was a continent with 16 different states. But by and large, the society back then, they would, while not all of them are Brahmins, there are those who are warriors, there are those who are merchants and laborers. But they all mostly would subscribe to the Brahminic beliefs. And so one of the beliefs is that the hair is precious, the body is precious. It is all a gift in a way. So they don't cut off their bodily hair. So in those days, some of the ascetics, they would cut off their hair in a way like an act of defiance, to say, I'm no longer part of this system. Yeah, so that's that element of it. The other part of it is for hygiene purposes. By cutting off the hair, it is easier to maintain, even if you don't wash your hair for a few days, or a week, or 2. In India. Yeah. So that's that part. Yes.
So one more question about the hair.
Okay.
If you grow your hair longer than 2 fingers,
Yes.
like just
as long as yours.
as long as mine,
Wow.
are you still considered a Buddhist?
Well, their hair is as long as yours,
So yes,
but she's a Buddhist, is as long as yours. So they are Buddhists, I'm also a Buddhist, but I'm also part of the monastic order. Yeah, so the monastic order has another set of rules beyond what they have, where there are certain things that we have to do. Part of it is making sure that our hair is cut short. Now, this may seem quite queer, like, what's the deal, right? So it was part of what the Buddha would advise the monks or instruct the monks to do. and part of it was like, why do we wear this? This is an evolution of what the monks used to wear. Yeah, the monks and nuns used to wear. This is purely Chinese. This long robe, this is purely Chinese. Yeah, and this is an adaptation from what the Tang Dynasty people wear. Yeah, so why are we still wearing this? So this is in line with one of the principles, which is that the Buddha allowed us to wear clothing that would distinguish us from the non-monastic. Yeah, and part of it was the hair thing.
Okay, so why is it a religion?
Yes. So let me add on to your question. Is it a religion? Is it a school of thought? Yeah, a philosophy? Or is it a way of life? So let me ask you, what am I?
A person.
Okay. What am I? Really? Just a monk? How about anybody out there on this side? What am I? A Shifu. And over here, what am I? Teacher. Yeah. And that very elderly lady on the corner, what am I? So the same thing can be seen differently by different people.
So different person has different perception towards one thing.
Yes.
Like some people think it's a religion, some people don't think it's a religion.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. But for example, Christian.
Yes.
For example, Muslim. It's clearly said that they are religion. But for Buddhism, some people say it's a religion, some people say it's not.
Yes.
And for other religions, there is something called God.
Yes.
Someone who is like who has supernatural power or something like that.
There is a belief in the presence of someone with supernatural power.
Yes,
not that in their religion they have. In their religion they have a belief that
yeah.
Yes.
That's called religion, right? And
Yes.
In Buddhism, actually Buddha is a person.
Yes.
He was a prince.
Yes.
So
He was an amazing person.
and he didn't have superpower.
Well, he did have superpowers, but not all-powerful superpowers. And he never claimed to have all-powerful superpowers. Take, for example, some would say that it takes superpower to actually forgive someone who tried to murder you.
Okay, all right. If you say so. Yeah.
Some people would say that, but if you see a raging elephant charging at you, and you do not flinch, and in fact when someone else stand in front of you and try to protect you, out of concern for that person, you actually ask the person to step aside. And then for that person to be able to stop the elephant, not with a gun, not with a knife, not by shouting, but with a kind heart, with compassion, to be able to cause an elephant who was supposed to be, who was said to have been intoxicated, and then charging. And it's not a small elephant, it's a full-grown bull of an elephant, charging, and then to be able to cause it to go down on its knee and actually cry. Some would say that that is supernatural. Others would say, well, very well-trained human being.
If that's considered to be superpower, then everybody can be a Buddha.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, you see? Yeah, exactly. So, and you see, exactly. And you didn't get this from attending a Dharma class, you know. It's just a logical conclusion, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty about Buddhism. It doesn't require you to believe anything. That if that is true, then this must be true.
Yeah, it doesn't take a leap of
Faith.
to just. That's why I like it. It's
Yeah.
like a normal thing.
It's a
Everyone
normal
can
thing.
approach it. It's accessible.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, because of that, there are some who try to dismiss it as a religion. There are some people who would make the statement, but Buddha is not God. When I was in junior college, what we call high school in other countries, I remember this conversation with a friend, Magdalene, and we were walking to the bus stop, and then she just casually asked me like, hey, do you know that, do you know something? I said, yeah, what? Do you know that Buddha is not God? And I was like, uh-huh. And then she's like, you know? I said, yeah. Then why are you praying to him? Why are you worshipping him? I'm like, no, I don't worship him. And then he's like, huh? You don't worship him? You see, most people from most religion, they believe in some supernatural being. They believe that the supernatural being created the whole world, and so they, as a result, they have their own tenets, they have their own worldview. Yeah? They have their own idea of, okay, because they believe in that, so what should they do to make sure that things go okay, so to speak. So for them, it's hard to understand other religion where there's no such a parallel system. Different religions may differ in what they believe in terms of which God they believe in, but they all have a, to me, somewhat similar model. So Buddhism is quite a different model. So for them, it's like, huh? And so sometimes people make the statement, Buddha is not God. For us, it's like, yeah. But for them, when they make that statement, it was actually an attempt to put Buddhism down. Because compared to, if you compare, let's say, handphone, right? Yeah. You know, they're comparing three features. Yeah. So then they also then make the statement, Buddhism is not a religion war. So that's the reason why some people do that. Yeah. But
so Buddha is a teacher.
He is, and that's why he described himself.
Just a teacher teaches good things, that's it.
Huh?
He's just a teacher and he teaches good things.
Oh, he don't just teach good things. And that's the tricky part. Because he don't say that he's the creator. He says, he declares himself as a teacher, as a doctor, so to speak. He teaches us to do good. And then more. He teaches us why we should do good, not just do good. He teaches us how to do good, not just go and do good. Anyone can say, do good. But he teaches us, explains to us why we should be doing good. Yeah? And then also why you should avoid doing bad. He also teaches you, if you try doing good, you may not succeed. You may feel, a turmoil. How you can overcome that turmoil. He teaches us all the whole path, the process. Yeah? So that you can actually achieve, most importantly, he's a teacher who teaches you how to be like him. Not just continue to be his teacher, subject to his bidding. But he teaches us to become like him, a Buddha, an awakened one. So yeah, he is just a teacher.
And for stealing, stealing is considered to be a bad thing in Buddhism. Stealing
is considered a bad thing.
A bad behavior, bad conduct in Buddhism. What if the society encourage people to steal? And what if it's a normal thing?
Okay.
And there is no morality concern or anything like that. So, which means when we steal, we require things, and we don't need to feel pressure. We don't need to be worried about getting caught, go to the jail, or some people judge us. The society judge us. So if the society is okay with that, we don't get judged. We don't get stressed, and then stealing is okay, right?
So, take for example, when you go to your friend's place, okay, and then you use the toilet, and then you use after you shit, and then you take a bit of the tissue paper. Yeah, we didn't tell your friend, when you're in the toilet, after, then you don't say, think of a friend's name. Sophie, let's say, Sophie, yes, can I have a bit of a tissue? You don't, right? You just take. So technically, taking without telling, that's stealing. But in this case, your friend allow you to take what?
I understand your point now.
Okay. That was easy. Yeah, I have a full repertoire, you know. Whenever people just say they understand, I don't have a chance to go through my full repertoire. Okay, very good. Halfway there. Okay, any more questions? We have overshot time. Thank you very much. We will see you next week, same time, same channel. Put our palms together. Thank you for your question. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛，起立。